I can't believe that I'm saying this, but we do not need to go to war with Iran for Israel. My name is Thomas Lovehart, and I'm a progressive independent running for Utah House District 71 against the Republican incumbent Rex Schiff. In 2025, 93% of US senators and 84% of US congressmen received some funding from AIPAC. Republicans and Democrats can't seem to agree about anything except for sending unconditional military aid to a foreign government that is literally committing genocide, killing tens of thousands of non-combatant men, women, and children. J.D. Vance, who used to be a never Trump guy, has had his entire career financed by Silicon Valley tech billionaires like Peter Thiel. And he's on the record saying that attacking Iran is not in American interest. We may have parallel interest with Israel, but when it comes to bombing Iran, that is not in Americans' interest. And now Marco Rubio tells us the reason that we're fighting Iran is because we knew Israel was going to attack it, and we knew Iran was going to attack our military assets in the Middle East back. So therefore, we had to preemptively attack Iran. Why can't we just say to Israel, don't attack Iran? Don't stop bombing Gaza, stop killing people and expecting the American taxpayer to fund you doing it. It's because they don't listen to us. They don't respect us. We know that Biden was trying to negotiate with Israel to stop bombing Gaza. We know that earlier in the year, Trump was doing everything he could to negotiate peace. But Israel does whatever it wants. And it doesn't matter how Netanyahu talks about you as being Israel's greatest ally or Trump being the best friend that Israel ever had, when they are just using us to fund their expansionist imperialist war in the Middle East. Trump ran on a platform of no new wars. Many Republicans really believe that he was the pro-peace president. But I think Trump has discovered what establishment politicians in Washington have always known, that you don't tell the state of Israel what to do. The state of Israel tells you what to do. And the justification for this war is that these religious Muslim fanatics, the Ayatollah, are going to get hold of nuclear bombs and then they're going to use it on their partners in the region. Meanwhile, we're getting reports from American soldiers saying that they're being told by the highest level of the military brass that the reason that we're going to war is because Donald Trump was chosen by God to bring about the second coming of Christ. That this is just a sign of the end times. So we're telling the American public that we have to fight this war because religious fanatics are going to bomb the Middle East. Meanwhile, we're bombing the Middle East because of religious fanaticism. The entire movement of Zionism is predicated on the idea that Jews are God's chosen people and have a divine right to not just Israel and Palestine, but the Red Sea to the Euphrates, virtually the entire Middle East. This is a war of imperialist expansionism that we are being forced to fund as American taxpayers. Trump is being shown fake polling from Fox News that shows that 90% of Republicans support his war in Iran, and that is simply not true. Go out into your neighborhood and ask anybody if they think we should be at war with Iran right now, and you're not going to get 90% of your neighbors telling you that's the case. Iran doesn't have nukes. Iran is not making nukes. Israel only has nukes because they stole nuclear material from the United States to do that. They are not our greatest ally. In fact, they are the main source of instability in the Middle East. And what's worse, to top it all off, we know that President Trump is in the Epstein files. He's all over the Epstein files. We know that he has been accused by multiple women and minors of sexual assault and rape. And it's starting to look like Jeffrey Epstein was most likely an Israeli Mossad intelligence agent. Thomas Macy said today that Mossad's blackmail of pedophile politicians in Washington has allowed them to completely capture American foreign policy. And now we're looking at the real possibility of nuclear war. Not because any of the 8 billion normal, regular, non-sociopathic people on the planet have asked for that, but because our corporate overlords, our globalist overlords, have decided that war makes money. War is profitable. And if we have to send off our children to go fight for that, then that's fine with them. As we've seen, they're literally willing to traffic, rape, and eat them. And then when they come back to America with their legs blown off or their hands blown off or they're blinded, our veteran healthcare system is a joke. And I get into arguments with people online saying that, hey, if we ever got into a nuclear conflict with Russia or China, we would so beat them because our nukes are better and stronger and they're faster and newer. And I'm telling you, if even 50 nukes went off worldwide, it would kill billions of people from the resulting radioactive fallout and famine. I grew up Christian, but to see my religion being co-opted by a genocidal, fascist, apartheid state for their own political gains is sickening. How can you look at any of the videos coming out of Gaza and not be disgusted? And now we're going to blow up Iran. And in our very first strike, we killed 170 schoolgirls by blowing up a girls' elementary school. The Republican Party used to be the party of personal liberties and freedoms, but in the 1980s, they realized how much money they could make by completely selling out to corporate interests. But nobody is going to vote for the party of selling out to corporate interests, so they co-opted the evangelical Christian movement in the US into their coalition. And for the last 60 years, they've run on this anti-abortion, anti-gay rights agenda while completely selling out their voters. And the Democratic Party didn't want to be left out, so they also started selling out to corporate interests. And now we've reached 2026 when the planet is on the verge of ecological collapse. We are on the verge of losing our representative democratic republic, and Americans are poorer and more in debt and more divided than ever before. And just yesterday, Congress voted to allow Trump to continue his war in Iran. And as always, Republicans had exactly the amount of Democrats they needed to pass their agenda. It doesn't matter if they need 4, they're going to get 4 Democrats. If they need 5, 7, if they need 15 or 20 Democrats, they're going to have just as much as they need. The establishment Democratic Party is controlled opposition. Both parties serve the for-profit war industry. Both parties serve corporations. Both parties serve whoever is willing to write a big check. We send billions of dollars a year to Israel so that they can have free education and they can have free healthcare, while the majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and spending $1 trillion a year on war with a Pentagon that cannot even account for where that money is going. A Pentagon that has not been able to pass an audit ever. I don't care who you vote for. We do not need another $1 trillion war for oil or a $1 trillion tax cut for billionaires. What we need is affordable housing, affordable healthcare, good jobs with decent benefits. We need real climate policy so we don't destroy the planet permanently at the behest of a couple thousand ultra wealthy, plutocratic, oligarchic, globalist, Epstein Island billionaires. Kamala Harris likely would have won the 2024 election in a landslide if she was just willing to put the bare minimum conditions on military aid to Israel, but she was not willing to do that, and it cost her dearly. And Democrats still haven't learned their lesson that when the choice is between a fascist, authoritarian, Republican takeover and a bunch of do-nothing Democrats, nobody is going to vote for the do-nothing Democrats. If we want to take our country back from our techno-feudalist billionaire overlords and their pedophile politician buddies, then we need to actually run on a platform that solves working class issues, that offers working class people a better future than what the Democrats are willing to offer. America is broken because of who we've allowed to infiltrate our government and pretend to represent us. We deserve politicians who actually do what they're going to say and who actually believe in we the people. We've seen all across the country that when candidates run on a progressive working class platform, that they win their elections. They beat Republicans in deep red districts. They beat establishment corporate Democrats in primaries. This is the America that we should be building. I didn't want to get involved in politics, but I couldn't stand by and watch what I see as the final stages of the corporate takeover of our democracy. I know millions of Americans feel the same way, and that's why you should get involved in local government. That's why you should run for office, because these 95-year-old corporate politicians don't represent us. Millennials are now the largest voting bloc in the United States, yet they only represent 15% of people serving in Congress. These are all federal level issues. Meanwhile, at the state legislature level, Rex Ship has literally co-sponsored a bill to ban boycotting the state of Israel. So, besides being a blatant violation of free speech, he's literally forcing Utah corporations to be complicit in funding a genocide.